it is my privilege to introduce to you a true churchman in every sense of the word, your friend and mine, Father Harry Tompson.
In many ways, the most important thing you name are the events of your life. The events of your life. Everybody, because we're human beings, makes mistakes, has crises, has catastrophes, have all those things that happen to us because we're human beings. And our life, our happiness really depends on what we name those events. Relame says, every moment of a person's life is either a blessing for growth or a curse that cripples, and the human person decides. You decide whether this moment in your life is going to be a blessing or a curse. But you, not your mama and your daddy, not your God, not your wife, not fate, not them, you decide. That's the power you have. The power to bless every moment with the great word blessing. Even the things you don't understand, you say blessing.
The ordinary is the extraordinary. Bluebirds, sunrises, the smell, the color of roses. That'll make you at peace. The power you have to see God in the ordinary. Third little thought we want to have is that Jesus has always given us messages every day. And sometimes we're not aware. Most of the time, we are not aware. We're waiting for the big burning bush. We want the big burning bush. It ain't coming. I was walking down the hall, and this side is all sun, windows. And I was walking down, I had my head down, it had been a bad day, really. And things hadn't gone right. Everything I touched had turned bad, so I had my hands in my pocket. And I was gone, and all of a sudden, I felt a little hand on the back of my neck. And this little boy said to me, little 8th grader, said to me, Father Tompson, pick up your head. You don't let us go around here with our head down. You got to look up and see what's going on. You can't see what's going on with your head down. Look at the beautiful sunshine. Think about all the learning that's going on. Think of all the smart kids in this school. Well, before I could grab that little sucker, he was gone. But you might say, well, that was like a resurrection experience. That wasn't like a resurrection experience. That was the resurrection experience. That was Jesus. I can show you that boy's hand if you wanted to see. I could draw it for you in the back of my neck. That was Jesus Christ telling me that I had chosen the wrong attitude. Pick up your head and look around and see what's going on. Quit feeling sorry for yourself. God is alive and well, and He's here in so many different processes. But it was done to me not by a burning bush. It was done not by a lightning in the sky or a strong volcano. It was done by a little boy. Because how I think is how I feel, and how I feel is how I act. If I think negative, I'll feel negative and I'll act negatively. Therefore, I have to think the Christian thoughts. God is with me. Therefore, I'll feel as if I'm never alone, and therefore I never have to lash out. I never have to be feeling like I'm all by myself.
Of course, the next most important person you name is your very self. What name do you call yourself when you're talking to yourself? What are the adjectives you use about yourself? For years, I used to get up in the morning, the first thing I'd say to myself is, oh my God, I'm old and tired. And then all day long I felt old and tired. And finally I told one of my superiors I'm old and tired. He said, and crazy. You are not old and tired. We have Father Martin in Temple, 92 years old, teaching 4 classes a day. You're not old, and you're not tired. My God, we can't keep up with you. Don't be saying that to yourself. I'll never forget one time when religious was making a retreat, a good woman religious. She was, I told her the first thing we do is get our image of God. And it got to the 3rd day and she couldn't get an image of God. And so I finally, against the rules, suggested that perhaps God could be shepherd to her. She came back the next month and she said, well, I want to tell you something about shepherd. She said, if I call God shepherd, that's going to mean that I'll want up a dumb sheep. Let me tell you something. I find it hard to talk back to nuns after 9 years of married. So I said, well, yes, sister, I understand, sister. Go ahead, sister. And she left. After she was out of the room, I said, that's exactly why God is a shepherd. Because we are dumb sheep. If we weren't dumb sheep, we wouldn't need a shepherd dog. I did not tell her that.
In Philippians, that great, beautiful hymn to Jesus Christ, he says to them, I want you to take care of each other. And the way you take care of each other is you put that heart and mind that was in Christ Jesus. Mind, how I think, heart, how I feel. So if I think the thoughts of Jesus, I will feel the thoughts of Jesus and act like Jesus. So finally I pressed the button and 3 nurses came in. And one of them was a big nurse. And she said, Father Tompson, why didn't you press this buzzer earlier? What's wrong with you? You got to press this button earlier next time. I said, well, I'm absolutely disgusted. I'm depressed. I don't know what I can do. I'm so sick. And I'm so sick of this throwing up and this being messy. And I'm so tired of needing you to clean me up. So I'm such a mess. And she held me in her arms. She said, Father Tompson, there's no mess you make that we can't clean up. Wouldn't that be a great way for us to go through life? Hugging our husbands and our wives, our children and our grandchildren, our friends and our enemies, saying, there is no mess that you make that we can't clean up.